Welcome to Burnt Out One more time. Rewind. Welcome to Burnt Out Perfectionist. My name is Sarah.
And my name is Eve.
Today, we will be talking about summer things. But before that, Eve, what is your survive and thrive?
My survive is, other people might consider it as a thrive. I've been waking up at like 6 a.m. Kind of rude.
Yeah.
I'm a solid like 6:45er when I go to work. But recently it's been like 5:36 because it's been so unbelievably bright outside.
Oh, and also like you go to bed later, so that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, like I go to bed at like 11:30. I think it depends. And my thrive is our mother doesn't know this yet. So our mother is on a trip. She left me unsupervised for 24 hours. And I have redone the bathroom.
Like, as in redone, she fully painted, quite literally, from ceiling to the bottom.
Oh, yeah, I repainted the ceiling.
And it's one of those things that our mom's had on, like, a list forever. All the supplies are here. And Eve was just like, I'm going to get shit done.
Well, and, like, you know, having my morning toilet session, I sound like a grandpa. I was looking around and I was like,
hey, everybody poops.
And I was just like, it's just not, like, you know when, like, you clean it, but, like, it's still, like, a little grimy.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, like, I'm not going to be able to get this grime off.
And if I scrub it too hard, I'll make the paint come off.
Yeah. And I was, I said to her mom before he left, I was like, is there anything I'm not allowed to do? She's like, that scares me. What do you mean? What do you mean? And I was like, no, like, I just want to know, like, if I do anything, that you're not going to be mad when you come home.
I don't think she would be mad. I feel like this is, like, less work for her, so she'd be stoked.
I know. And now she's sitting on her trip going, what is my child doing?
Oh, because last night she called you, right?
Well, yeah, she did. She calls so that she can talk to, like, mainly our brother and stuff. So, yeah, just, like, check in, make sure everything's going okay.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, did you take out the air conditioners and put them in? I'm like, no. She's like,
what did you do? We're probably going to be doing that later because it's supposed to be like 32 degrees here today.
yeah. But she was like, I can't think of anything else. I was like, that's good. Which, on a side note, when we do the air conditioners, I do need to change out the curtain rod in the front room.
Oh, yeah.
That window anyway.
Yeah, you did, right?
It, like, fully bent because it's on my phone, and then Costco had one, so.
Oh, okay.
We said no. Need to do that.
Are you going to Costco or do you already have the thing?
I already have it. It's at the door.
Oh, okay.
I have both of them. So if we want to do, like, the one by the plant table first, change out the curtain rod, put the AC in.
Yeah.
And then if we can change out the curtain rod on the other side, too, so that they match, so we don't have one silver and one black.
Oh, my God, that would drive me insane.
I have both of them because I got one from Jessica and Costco. Oh, then they should both fit. Hopefully.
Oh, it's okay. My windows are, like, the weirdest size at my place, so I always have to buy, like, I can't buy, like, the chibi ones.
No, you have to buy, like, the extra extender ones.
Oh,
like, so annoying.
Oh, and they're expensive. Oh, I forgot that we have Yisk again. I need to get a new one for my, I bought those blackout curtains for my kitchen, and I originally, like, used, like, the stickum stuff, like, the iron sew. I was like, I'm blanking.
NCT?
So I did that, and I measured it out, and then I always, like, because you're folding it over, well, I guess I didn't fold it over enough, so it's, like, too long, so I feel like I need different curtains, or just to, like, cut those ones, and then a different curtain rod, because they're such good curtains that the curtain rod that I bought was, like, a cheapy one. Every once in a while, it just goes, like, sticks up, so...
I have some from Amazon that I like in my room, and they're blackout, and they're quite nice.
I got those. They're in gray. I got those exact same ones, because they're the same ones that I got Charlie. That's how I knew they'd fit my window.
Yeah.
I didn't get her gray, though. She got, like, this, like, turquoisey sky blue color or something.
They're great.
They're freaking fabulous. Especially if you have, like, old windows, like my place. My place is, like, double pane windows. Mm-hmm. I think that's what they're called. I don't know. You've got, like, 2 outside windows and 2 inside windows, if that makes sense to anybody. There's a track and a little space in between.
Sliding windows.
I don't know. If you have a house from the 1970s or 1980s in Canada, like, everybody has them. They're not efficient. My survive. It is the end of the school year. It is. So all those things are coming up. And I'm one of those people who's like, okay, well, I want to make sure I thank everybody who helped my kid this year. And I'm like figuring out all this stuff. And then it was like the other day, I'm like, oh my God, I forgot about the person who assists her with her reading literally 4 days a week. I should make sure I get her something. And just like gearing down. So it's like there's all these little things right near the end of the year. Like, oh, make sure you send your kid with money because there's fun things like treat days, or make sure you send them with this because they have this. And then you're like, okay. And then you're also counting everything. And where my daughter goes to school, she has a uniform. So it's like I have to factor in, okay, well, a lot of the uniforms, if you order them ahead of time, like you have to be like, I really hope my kid doesn't grow 2 sizes because then they'll be too small. But we also have like an exchange program amongst all the parents for used ones. So I'm like putting my used stuff on there. Some of it's from last year. My used stuff on there. And then I was looking at what she was wearing and I'm like, oh, that ain't going to fit next September. It's going to be too short. So factoring all that in and then being like, okay, you have to do like the parent math of like, okay, so this is all the things I have to get. It's just, it's a lot of thinking right now. I just realized I didn't take any of my pills.
You just told me I'm going to take them.
I know, and I did something else instead. But get a little ramble, that's why. And then my thrive is I'm just excited. I'm excited for summer and everything to be wrapping up for fun and to like hang out with my kid. But this sounds like kind of lame, but I found this playlist on Apple Music. It's called Friday Feeling. And it has all of those like songs that are just fucking great and just bring joy to your life. And I laughed so hard because they update it even with some newer ones and everything too. And we were rocking out to this on the way to school and my kid was like loving life. One of the songs is Unwritten by Natasha Bedingfield. And that song just gets everybody hyped, including my husband.
It used to be my volleyball song. We used to sing it before we like play the game.
Oh my God.
Like our team. Go take your pills down.
Okay.
No, I just know that like afterwards you'll be like, I need to do this, I need to do this. And then it's like, go take your pills.
I'm just trying to like get ahead of it. And I might do that thing that you saw where you get like the 5 set of like the drawers and then you put your clothes in them and it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Oh my God, every time I look at it and I'm like, oh, I should do that for work.
I know.
I'm like, what?
I literally was like, I kind of want to do that for myself. Just to pre-plan stuff because it's one less thing to think of in the morning, especially when your fucking alarm doesn't go off. My Alexa likes to fuck with me and just like not go off sometimes.
No, and also it's like socks.
Oh my God. It's always like, and because she has specific socks that she wears, and I hate folding socks. That's the number one thing that I am doing this, hopefully like the month of July, hopefully maybe this weekend. I'm going through all the socks because I found out that, here's my random rant, but I found out that there's certain socks that my husband just like does not want to wear. And I would like put socks out for him and then he would be wearing some like mismatched pair of another one. I'm like, why aren't you wearing those? He goes, oh, I don't really like those socks. Like they feel this way on my feet because he's really big feet. He is size 14, right? So he's like, oh, I don't like the way they feel on my feet or they're too hot or whatever. And I was like, well, should I put them away for winter? And he's like, I actually don't really like them because like they're hot, but if my feet sweat, my feet get cold. I'm like, oh, that's the fucking worst. He's like, yeah. I'm like, we can just eliminate these out. I'm like, there's nothing worse than when you have, it's like fuzzy socks. Fuzzy socks are supposed to keep people's feet warm, but they always like, it's like the illusion of warmth. My feet are always cold in them.
I like reading socks.
I like reading socks too. Yeah, I like reading socks as long as they have no slip grips on the bottom. I know you're supposed to just sit and read, but like, I don't know. I run around my house in them. I know. It's just, everything's safer if I just have anti-skid.
You just put them on and you're like, okay, well, I'm screwed now.
Which I saw them at Old Navy. They have the yoga socks. I was like, fuck, I should just have those in my everyday life. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I also got really good socks. I'm going to send you the link from Amazon so I don't forget. But again, I'm waiting to see how they wash.
I know. I kind of want to get those ones from Costco, those lazy pant ones.
Okay, they just came out with those, and they're soft as shit.
But I have to watch whatever socks that I have. I try to alternate between wearing like compression socks at work versus other socks. I feel like the most high maintenance like pitch when I'm at work. Because like sometimes I'll wear compression stockings and then I come home and I'll put on my eye massager and my foot massage.
Oh my God. I haven't used my eye massager yet, but I got it for half price, so I was really excited. The ones that I got are Have a Tree, and then I got it says Have a Tree, but I got the 6-pack of women socks, and they're lightweight and they're soft, but they still kind of keep your feet warm, but like not really, because I feel like every sock that I try is like great. I'm glad that they're really well made, but like they're too fucking hot. Sometimes I just want to wear sneakers in the summer because I get cracky feet.
I love the Saucony ones that they had at Costco.
They were the best because they have like a bumper at the upper half right above your heel, and there's like the little bumper, so if your foot rubs, it's all good in the hood.
Yeah. Also, they had like a little bit of an extra padding on the bottom, so if you had like cracked heels, you didn't have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Oh, it was great. Love those ones.
So lovely.
Now we just have, so our mom and I just have a basket full of socks that we just, because we have the same size feet, and the amount of times that it would be like, she's like, oh, I'm out of socks, and then I was like, oh, I'm out of socks, and so we wash them and we just stick them all in the same bin. And it just makes life easier in the morning.
I love how easy that is for you guys, because basically it's like my husband is like a zombie in the morning. Like he's awake, but he's not. And he'll be like, babe, can you grab me socks? I'm like, no, grab your own socks. Like I'm already doing all this other stuff sometimes. I'm like, get the fuck out of my way. And he's like, he'll come upstairs. I'm like, sir, those are not your socks. He's like, what am I? Take my damn socks off. So for perspective, I have like a women's size 11 on average. And which is like US sizing, and my husband has a size 14. So like if he wears my socks, they never fit again. It would be the equivalent of like me giving my socks to my child and like the heel being halfway up my calf. Like it's not gonna work. And I'm like, take those off. Or the worst, comes upstairs, I'm like, show me that it says roots on the base of your foot. And he's like, what? I'm like, show me right now. And he's like, weirdo. And he lifts his foot. I'm like, those are Charlie's socks. Take those off. And my daughter can only wear like gray socks to school. It's part of her uniform thing. And I'm like, take your damn socks off. And Charlie gets so annoyed. She's like, Dad, take my socks off. Well, for good measure. Anytime he wears them, like, I basically, he did it so many times at one point that I just threw out all her socks. Actually, I donated all of them. And then they got new socks, which, like, thank goodness kids' socks aren't, like, ridiculous at, like, Walmart or Marks and Spencer's. But, like,
but really? This man is complaining about a certain pair of socks wasn't being comfortable, but he's going to stretch children's socks.
I know. He's like, oh, great. I'm like, what? Do you not like yours? Like, I can get you other ones. And he's like, okay. I'm like, guys, we need to figure out a certain kind of sock that we like. And then those are the ones that we're sticking with. Also, I am reverting back to when Charlie was a baby. Everyone is going to have one fucking color. Charlie can just have gray socks all the time instead of like the funky socks, because there's no point. Half the time you don't find the other one.
I'm the one that buys your child fun socks.
Yeah, I know you buy her fun socks. But she also has the so in Canada, I don't know if they have these in the States, but in Canada, Peace Collective and McDonald's launched socks, and they were $5 a pair. And all the money went to Ronald McDonald House, which I'm a sucker for Ronald McDonald House. They've helped a lot of people that I know. So I was like, well, and the socks are adorable. Well, I bought the socks and I was so excited to wear them. Well, my daughter claimed them as her basketball socks because they go up to her knee further enough. And she wore them to basketball. And she's like, I love my new socks. I was like, well, shit. Those are not mine anymore. Our brother claimed the ones in this house.
Okay, but the exciting thing is our brother has autism, and he or is a person with autism, whatever he doesn't care.
He's on the spectrum.
So he would only wear these very specific Fila dark gray socks.
Yes.
And one day they like stopped selling them at Walmart, and we were like, God damn it, what are we gonna do? And then the other ones, he would only wear them. He would only wear this very like gray
mid-calf
socks.
Yeah.
So about 2 years ago, we got him to wear ankle socks.
Oh yeah, that was the whole thing.
Because he was getting like a wicked tan line. And we were like, he was like, my feet are hot. So we did this. Our mom got all of the like socks. There's like Grimace and all of the different characters. And there was one day that he was out of socks. He didn't do laundry. And so I ripped the package off and I just handed them to him and said, I'm sorry, I haven't done laundry. And so he puts them on. And then every day he would go in, he would open a new package of these socks and put them on. And I texted or called mom and I was like, he's wearing character socks. To the average person, that is like, oh, whatever. Like, he's wearing character socks. For a family member who has a family member with autism, it is literally like the Olympics have begun. We're like, what? And so for Christmas last year, I got him Taz socks and Chester from Looney Tunes. So like the cat and like Taz, the Tasmanian devil.
Oh, okay. I was like, who the fuck is Chester? You mean Sylvester?
Sylvester.
I was like, who's Chester? Cheeto? That's what I was going with.
I was like, it's some cat, and I can't remember his name. So, and then the next day, he walked out, like, after those socks went through, we had about, like, 5 of the different characters, and he walks out in the Taz ones, and I was like, oh my god. He's wearing different character socks.
Yeah.
So he's been wearing the Lorne and every day he's like, look at my stuff.
Which is so cute, because all of a sudden I was sitting there. It was like the Monday. And I looked over and I was like, oh my god. And my reaction is always like, don't make it a thing, Sarah. Like, don't make it a thing. And I was like, oh my god. And I messaged in our like a group between between Eve. I was gonna say my sister, you're right here.
Hi.
Eve and our mom, and I was like, oh my god, he's wearing character socks. They're like, oh my god, I know, he just started wearing them. Right. And because and I'm like, oh my god, that's amazing. And it's not like we haven't tried to get him to wear character socks. It's not like there hasn't been like minimal effort towards any of this. We have tried so hard to do certain things, but it's like when they get into a certain routine or a certain rhythm, like they know what they like, it's predictable, and it's good to go.
But like even if they were in there, he wouldn't choose to wear them over his other socks.
That's correct.
So it was like, oh my god, he's wearing different ones now. And like, we don't care if he's wearing neon yellow duck socks and like a green shirt. We like,
oh no,
it's just more that like breaking that routine.
Yeah.
And so all of us are like trying not to say anything, and then he's like, look at my socks.
I know. I looked over and I was like, oh my goodness. And I like texted them, and it was a couple hours later. He's like, Sarah, did you see my Grimace socks? And I was like, I did. They're so awesome. And then I was at, it's not called EB Games anymore. It's called GameStop now. I was walking past GameStop, and they had a buy one, get one free for character socks. So they had a bunch of like Fireball Z and like Pokemon, which isn't like
Dragon Ball Z.
Oh my god, did I just say Fireball Z?
Yeah, girl.
Oh, my brain.
Pull out the cinnamon sticks.
And I dug through to find ones in his size, and I found 2 pairs of Spider-Man ones, and I was so excited. My husband was like, are you going to keep those for Christmas already? And I was like, no, I'm going to give them to him right now, because like, he loves it. And I showed up, I'm like, I got you a surprise at the mall yesterday. And he's like, oh, okay. And I give them to him, and he's like, and he comes walking out, and then he sticks his leg out, and he goes, look at my socks.
Like, he is so routine based that he has 2 pairs of like, when we would buy him runners, it takes a while for him to choose ones he likes and stuff. So you buy like 3 or 4 pairs in like one go. He would wear the one pair until like they're dead, and you had to like freak them out.
He'd have to go to bed, and we'd have to run in his room and throw them out.
And like then he would switch to the next ones and stuff like that. So like he didn't change his socks.
No.
Well, he changed his socks, but he wouldn't like change his shoes or anything. So it was a huge deal.
But yeah. Anyways, that was a personal like whoop for us. That's a combination thrive.
Yeah.
My brain literally farted right there.
Well, on that note, we're about 20 minutes into a rant, but
it's not a rant. It's fun information.
It's a rant.
Have folks.
You cut your own pit.
Oh, I know.
Oh, rash forming on your pit.
Oh no, it's always like this after I shave my armpits.
Do you not? You need to switch to the leaf. Oh my god, I sound like an ad. I just realized you need to switch to the leaf razor, dude.
Yeah, I know, but I bought because it wasn't bothering me before, that shake one. Except I was half asleep, and I think I was like overly aggressive shaving my armpits this morning. Come on, everybody, you know what I'm talking about. Where you have a shower, you've delayed having that shower forever, you wake up and you're like, my hair looks darker, but it's not. I need to wash my hair. And then you just like quickly shave everything. Like, I'm really glad at least if I have those like intuition razors, I don't like cut the fuck out of my legs. And I don't have to like hold the bottle. Like, you know, there's like a whole thing.
Yeah.
So I don't have to do any of that. But like, yeah, I was definitely and then I changed the razor head. I was like, I think this is a little dull. But yeah. Okay. So we are leading into our topic of the day that we shall ramble about. Summer. So like fun things that we'll be doing, summer bucket lists, activities. If you have Pinterest, get it ready because I will be listing off things, and if you need to look them up to add to a board also called child, like I have one.
So I came up with this idea because I saw this chick on TikTok. I'm on like all over the place TikTok.
I'm on tornado talk right now. It's making me a little panicky.
We live in a valley, dumbass.
I know, I'm on tornado talk. So I see Texas, the ones in the Midwest, the ones that happen in Edmonton.
You can't get tornadoes. We live in a valley.
I know.
Then why are you stressed about tornadoes?
Because there was a partial funnel cloud in Yarrow, BC for the first time ever.
That's not a valley.
It is. It's in the Fraser Valley. It's located just outside of Chilliwack.
But that's not... We're literally in a valley.
I know, we're in a different valley, but I was just like, oh my God, tornadoes. They be popping up everywhere. I oddly like them, though. I'm really excited for twisters.
Oh, I love those. But this mom popped up on my TikTok, and she does this thing called Mommy Summer Camp.
Oh, cute.
With her kids. I think I don't know if I sent it to you.
I don't think.
This chick's got like a logo now. She's making a website. It's like her third or fourth year. So I believe she has 2 daughters. And so one day of each week of the summer, she like plans out this whole day. There's like outfits, there's activities, and like she puts it all in this like canvas tote bag, and it's called like Mommy Summer Camp or something.
Oh, okay.
So I think week 1 was like 90s day. So I think they did like bracelets, and it's like you just do fun things, you have fun food and stuff like that. And it's just one day. And she's like, honestly, like it's one day, and people are like, oh, like I work and stuff. And then she goes, yeah, but like on one of your days off, like nobody works 7 days a week, 24/7.
Some people do.
That's just what she.
Yeah.
And so she is gonna come out with like digital downloads and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I'll try to find her hat. I realized that I was talking about it, and I always forget to look at it. But yeah, she like does all the things. I think she said that she's developing a website mainly just for like digital downloads and stuff, and so that you can like print out all the activities.
Yeah. But
she's been doing for the past 2 years, and she goes, it's only once a week, but like my kids love it.
Well, and that's the whole thing is like if you plan out stuff. So I do it kind of year round, especially around like holidays and stuff if things are coming up. And I'm a big fan of Pinterest when it comes to that, because you don't need to have like a bunch of craft magazines or anything like that kind of around your house. You can find anything for any budget and for any age, basically, on Pinterest. And a couple different things that I've looked at are even just like organizational things that you can make with Lego. Like making like a Lego pencil holder where someone's like, oh, that might be easy. But it gives them something to like look at and do. I found a Lego air hockey table that you can build. These are not kits. These are ones where you can take whatever Lego that you already have and you can make stuff out of it. There's also an app that our mom sent us where you scan over top of Lego, like a bin of Lego, and it'll be like, pull these pieces out and you can make this or whatever. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. I'll pin like recipes that look like they'll be easy, routine-based stuff. One of the things that I really want to do, because she did something similar but adjacent, is I found these DIY faux stained glass bookmarks.
Oh, those are adorable.
They're so cute. So you just make them with like glue, like Elmer's glue or whatever. And then you just add paint to the glue and you can do it. Oh, and then that's one that I found with Dollar Tree things this morning. Take those Dollar Tree dice.
Are you dying?
No, I'm like burping. Dollar Tree dice. And then like coasters. And it has all the little things that you can do. And you can make tiny s'mores. And they're so fucking cute. They'd be like a cute decoration for like a kid's room.
Oh my God, what if you made like mini ones with like those mini bees and you can make a little garland of s'mores?
I know, I might, like, my kid loves s'mores. So there's stuff like that. The other thing that I saw, I was trying to think of things that I really liked when I was little. So I came from I grew up in the 90s because I'm old. And I was like obsessed with becoming I wanted to be a spy or like a cop. Oh my God, not the jersey. Please hold. I need to call my husband before he gives away my Brett Favre jersey. I was like obsessed with becoming a spy when I was a kid. And my friend Crystal and I had this thing that we like made a logo and we drew it up. And it was called Iguana Detectives.
I don't even know how to spell iguana.
It was like iguana. I think at one point we changed it to chameleon because it made more sense. And we were inspired by the queens of the 90s who were also detectives.
Nancy Drew?
Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen.
Oh.
They used to have these like movies where they were detectives and all the other stuff. I always wanted to be Mary-Kate. And I was obsessed with like random spy things or even just like pretending, you know, like you're using your imagination. Her mom would be like, oh my goodness, this has come missing. She would legitimately hide things in her house. So that way we had to follow clues in order to do it. Mrs. Mahan, you were amazing.
That sounds like fun.
And I saw this came up and it was Secret Spy Codecraft. And there's a free printable included. So like how you can like write stuff and then you do the red squiggle over top and then you use like the clear black red paper and it'll make it come through, which I thought was super cool. And then I saw a couple of other things where you just take like a lot of these are very low cost things. Like they're little like counting or building things. So basically you're making like stations similar, but just small ones in little like cheapo pencil cases. I try to find a lot of these things so that way they're more fun. Oh, the other thing I did yesterday was I went to Costco to get my allergy medication. And I walked past, please explain to me why, Costco has school supplies. I'm like, when's Christmas coming? In 2 weeks? Like, they have the school supplies out. So, that's a little bit of a WTF mate. But there's such good prices and I'm going to screw it up. Stedler? Yeah, Stedler. Yeah. That brand, which is great. And everything is like a double set for $10. And it's like, I was looking stuff up and I was like, oh, like that's a half the price and you're getting 2 sets. Like that's ridiculous. So I remember my daughter saying that her felt pens and stuff like that were kind of getting a little faded at Nana's house. And I was like, oh, this is prime opportunity for me. So I went through and I changed out all of her pencil crayons, all of her felt pens. I got rid of the crayons because she didn't use them. So we don't need them anymore. Those crayons have been living long for years. And then I got her the dual-sided markers that they have with like the fine tip and the other tip because she likes to do fancy coloring books. And pencils. And I got the big pack of the Crayola markers too. So like the bigger ones. They came with 2 sets in those too. So I did all that and pulled all her drawers. She's got a set of 3 drawers with all the stuff in them. Pulled all the stuff out. I also got her the grade 2 and grade 3 curriculum books that you can get for like $10 at Costco, which is a ridiculously good deal. Everybody else charges like $30 for those. And I got her those because every once in a while she's like, can I do a worksheet? And then sometimes it takes you a while to find it. You got to download it, try to print it off. The printer decides that it hates me. You know, those things. So I went all the way through, made sure everything was clean, stocked it up. Auntie Eve went on a trip to the Dollarama to get stuff for painting supplies.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, is there anything else that you need? I'm like, yeah, I need another pencil box. She's like, okay, found the coolest pencil box. It's like a dual compartment one. And then I was like, yeah, she kind of has like acrylic paints here for her that are, it's like, it was like black, white, blue, and gold. And then like green and orange, but they just kind of like weird colors. I'm like, she's really into like these bright colors. So she grabbed those for me. And I cleaned it all out so it's all organized. I made sure I purged all the stuff. So if you buy those like kindergarten grade 1, like all those types of books, I had some of them that were in there that I was like, oh, these are a little old. So I bundled all those together, messaged Charlie's friend's mom who has a little sister who's going from kindergarten to grade 1. I was like, hey, before I like donate these or whatever, because some of them were used, some of them weren't. I'm like, do you think your daughter wants them for the summertime? She's like, oh my goodness. Yes. Thank you so much. And I was like, okay, perfect. Drop those off today. She took them home. So yeah, I don't know. I just like to prep and try to make sure it's as organized as possible. Also, the least amount of crap I have to carry from my house to here is just better for everybody.
Yeah.
Least amount of reusable bags that I steal from Eve. Eve, what are some of your plans that you have for this summer?
On the topic of reusable bags. So recently, it's been easier to find like canvas tote bags. So Dollarama just came out with their own like branded tote bags, which sounds really funny.
Oh my God, they're actually cute though.
They're like fruit market ones. So they have like, they're green, and then they have like Dollarama on the front, and they have like pocket, and they're really nice quality.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, these are really great. So I bought a couple because the plastic ones, I know they're like the reusable bags, but they're plasticky. They have been like disintegrating.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so you're talking about like the regular like weaved plastic bags. I mean, I don't know how many times I've talked about how much they piss me off. But yeah, they've started like falling apart.
And like, I use those things. Like, we go to the grocery store, put the bags in the car. We do this, put the bags in the car. And
you send shit home with Sarah that you forgot at your house?
Put it in a reusable bag.
Yeah.
Third problem.
Yeah.
And recently, they've been just like, we don't leave them out in the sun or anything.
Nope.
But after a while, the like 2 layers will just start to disconnect, and then they like pill everywhere. And for God's sakes, those fucking things don't fall down.
My favorite thing in the whole world is like when I'm walking out, the handles just decide to disconnect.
Yeah.
From the whole bag, and you're like, oh, sorry, I feel like you'll feel this pain. Yesterday. Oh no, sorry, it wasn't yesterday, it was Monday. Wow, I'm behind. I went, wow, somebody had quite the Monday. And Ben's like, what are you talking about? And we drove past, there was a broken reusable bag on the ground. It was like brand new too. And there was a watermelon on the ground, broken in half. And it looked like someone, like literally, it was like a couple feet, it looked like someone like threw the bag down, like fuck. And it was like broken. And it looked like a really good watermelon.
Oh.
And it was like fresh. Like I'm pretty sure that person got up and bought it from one of the grocery stores that was closed down there, which is not a cheap one. And I was like, oh. Ben's like, oh, it's so sad.
Well, so that's been happening more and more. And like, you know, those like, I don't know, they're like felty ones. Like those ones I'll get, and then I can put stuff for the thrift store in them.
Oh, are you talking about like the 33-cent ones from like, oh yeah, those
ones.
You get them from like Dollarama or like Walmart. Like they're like the default cheapy bags.
Yeah.
I use those for meat because then if it leaks, I can throw them out because you can't clean them.
Oh, well, I'm like, so I have those ones I usually get for like thrift store and stuff. And then recently I've been finding more canvas tote bags, and I'm like, sweet. So I've bought some like patches. So I'm going to do like, I bought fruit patches. So I'm going to cover like one of the tote bags in that. And then I bought a DTF, DTF.
Down to fuck?
Direct to fabric.
Oh.
We own a print-on-demand company, Sarah.
I know. But
you should know this.
I call it a DTG, direct to garment, because I can't say DTF without laughing.
DTG. Of this like Stars Hollow like mugs one that I'm gonna put, because I bought a blank one from Michael's, so I'm gonna put it on there. So I'm just doing like those little things to make it like more convenient, and then slowly transitioning out of those like plasticky bags because they're just a pain in my ass.
Yeah, like they are. I think they're the best option for those is if you're getting somebody like a gift and you're at HomeSense, which is HomeSense, Winners, Marshalls. That's my default place to buy gifts because you can get anything for almost anybody there, and it's usually a solid price and it's super cute. And I'll get one of those instead of a gift bag because it's $1.99 when everybody else charges like $6 for paper gift bags. They're usually cute. I add some tissue and then that person can reuse that again. To me, that is like the mindset that I have, but it's really funny that you say that you're doing that because my husband looked at me the other day and was like, oh, our daughter made for Mother's Day, like her whole class made these like little tote bags, and they're made out of that same fabric as those like cheapy ones. I think someone ordered it off of Amazon and like just like hit the wrong button, to be totally honest. But the design is so cute. It's like a little mason jar with flowers. Like it's so cute, and she worked so hard. And I was like, if I use this bag though, like it's probably gonna fall apart, and I really want to find a way to just like cut out the design that she did or get her to like redo it if she wants to. But it's so cute. And I was like, oh, I'll go on like a shopping app, whichever one you choose. And I think I'm going to get more of those like canvas bags. And I've said that on here before. Well, my husband looks at me and he goes, hey, so like, do you think like when you get those canvas bags that like Charlie could like decorate them or do whatever? And like we could have like, he's like, I mean, I could attempt to, but like we could like, have fun and do that instead of just having plain ones. And I was like, oh, I fully intended on doing that. He's like, really? And I was like, yeah, because I bought those fabric markers. Ooh, almost died. Those tulip fabric markers when Charlie and I were decorating those plain white canvas slides that we got. And I was like, I figured like we could use those. Like I have a Cricut. They work with acrylic paint, like all that other stuff. Or I could get fabric paint and we could go from there. And he's like, oh, okay. He's like, yeah, I thought it would be fine. So that's like one of the things that we'll do is like she can decorate bags. And then we'll have, they might not be plain, but my whole thing that I have said again and again, and if you've listened to several episodes, you're like, Sarah, shut the fuck up. The canvas bags you can roll up and put all inside one, no matter like how many you have. They roll up, they're a lot more accessible. You can do all that, and you can wash them. That's a big thing for me. Is like the other ones you wipe out, but like Eve said, they fall apart over time. Canvas bags last so much longer, and it's just great. And I really want to get the ones that have like the inside pockets or channels, so like you can stand stuff up and everything. And they're just better overall.
Well, and kind of the one because now that canvas totes are becoming more trendy, they can be more expensive, is we have 2 boxes, I think, left of drop cloth. And Mom told me that she has a pattern for canvas totes.
Do you want to know why? Because back in the 1990s, our mother made her own tote bags. And that was the only thing she ever used at the grocery store. Because he used to always have like paper bags. And sometimes it was really hard because the paper bags were good. But then they started teaching everybody that paper bags aren't good because you're killing trees and to change to plastic, which our mom always found ironic. But she would make them and sometimes decorate them, sometimes just have those and use them. Our mom has been rocking totes for like my entire life. She uses a tote all the time. We just got her a new like bag to take her stuff to school in. But our mom is obsessed with totes. And then
I has rocked the same freaking natural and dark purple tote bag.
It looks like a Crown Royal tote bag. It's the best way.
It's literally that was, if I ever thought about my mom's bag, it was that one or like the travel bag.
Yeah.
That freaking tote bag has been around forever.
There's and that's the whole thing is like you can find those little things to do. There was this, I'm trying to remember what the paper's called. I feel like you're going to know it as soon as I say it. Our mom used to get this blue paper and you could put objects on it and then sit it out in the sun and then it would just bleach where the objects were or bleach around.
Oh, it's like transfer paper, but it's not.
It's like a very specific kind. If you know what it is, just leave a message in the comments below unless I Google it before then. I would greatly appreciate it. Doing stuff like that, like my daughter loves science and she loves math and stuff like that. So like just finding those cool ways to do that, and then you can put it up. Also, I mean, blue is like her jam. Blue and orange. Those are her favorite colors.
And then also, I love in the summer to redo rooms.
Well, and that's a fun thing. So Eve was very nice to let us have her old bed frame, which is great because the bed frame that I have for my child's room is one that I originally bought before. And it's like really dark. And there's not a lot of room to like slide things under. And if you know, once you have a kid, if you're lucky enough to join a community where you get hand-me-downs of things, or like I said, where we purchase her uniforms ahead of time, or we find them used, you source them that way and everything. You need like under the bed storage if you don't live in a large place. And this has significantly more room, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's like one of the IKEA like metal bed frames.
Yeah.
The only reason that I was getting rid of it is I have a lot of hair. And I was waking up a couple days caught in my bed frame.
Yeah.
And I was like, God damn it.
And my daughter has like short, smooth, straight hair. Like,
and she only likes her hair quite short.
Yeah.
Like it's not an issue. My hair goes like mid to my back. I sleep in a bun.
Yeah. It was just asking.
I was just
shenanigans.
Yeah. But I love to do those things because it's like, I don't have to go, oh, okay, well, I just wait for the weather to be okay. I can like pull it out and just, which is super funny because while I was doing the bathroom, we have this like shower shelves in the corner that you just pop out, and they've been dark brown forever. And Sarah looks at me and goes, "Oh, the Jisk had really nice ones."
Yeah.
So I pulled it out, and I was like, "I'm freaking going to Jisk, because he's got a can of goddamn spray paint."
Rust-Oleum for the win, always. That's how I painted the bed frame blue again.
So I pop it outside, I spray paint it and stuff. I put it back in. I opened the shed, and it goes, "Wow, do you want a Jisk?" I'm like, "No. The old one just spray painted."
Well, and that's the whole thing is like, you can get things that you want, but you can usually just change the color of them. And it makes it a little like DIY craft, which not everybody thinks of that. I mean, that's kind of like probably why thrift stores and like dumps are like loaded up with stuff, because some people weren't taught or weren't shown how like easy that process can be. I will be totally frank though. Sometimes you're like, I'll just paint it later. And then it's like months, sometimes years later before you actually do the thing. But it's easy to just like repaint something and make it new.
Well, and like I'm not afraid of painting stuff, because I'm like, it's not permanent.
Yeah.
Painting isn't permanent.
No.
You can take it off and stuff. And my other big thing is I love like contact paper and like other stickers and stuff. So I have this I basically built my own nightstand out of a couple shelves. And it's like a 2-door. It has like 4 shelves inside. And on the outside, it's super plain and it's white. And I have a very like chill, calm room. And I was like, God, it's so boring. So I got these like window stickers that it was like, it started off with florals, and then I put them in the cubes, and I made a different, I just pulled it off for every season, put a different one on. And I was like, it just brings me so much joy.
Like, you can do those things that are temporary, and I mean, there's lots of different things. There's peel off wallpaper, of course. Like, I always recommend, especially if you're buying it online, like read the reviews. If you're not buying it from like a store or from other people that are like people that you know, because sometimes you'll get things and you'll go to peel it off. I've had the incident where I went to like peel off like a sticky wall thing, and it like ripped the paint off, and I got in shit by my landlord. But not this one that I just had. I feel like they've evolved a lot in the last, especially since like COVID.
Well, even like you put it down, and then you can just check it every once in a while and stuff. And I'll like put it on. I put it on random shit. I'm like, oh, this is cute. I have like this lovely, like I bought this like nice patterned one for the inside drawers.
Yeah,
it's a cute, and it's like, oh,
it makes a huge difference. So like, I live in, I think the townhouse that I live in was constructed in 1978. So my cupboards are very like, they're old. Like the handles are original, and they're like giant flowers. I mean, honestly, if I was to soak and clean them, oh, God forbid, I didn't know how much grime was on them. But, and even painted them like a brighter color. And then we had our cupboards stay painted, which I'm just waiting for reapproval, because I got approval during COVID. But I kind of want to paint them white, because the bottom part is like peeling off that's on the thing. And I just want to make sure that they're like sealed, so I can stand and like seal it off. And I know what cabinet paint is for anybody who's listening. I'm not dumb. But last summer, I bought contact paper, and it's just really simple. It's gray, and it has like a little like white pattern in it, because it was all like orange, yellow, green, and brown, and it was like really funky. So I have no issue with funkiness. It was funky, but it was different in every fucking cupboard. It wasn't a different, like a little bit adjacent off from the previous one. It was like literally the same color scheme, but a completely different wallpaper behind each one. And it just kind of added, they were very like intricate. And I was like, well, I'm not going to like ruin this, but I'll just get contact paper. And I put it in. The difference that it makes, it almost like mutes it when it's like loud. And it kind of helps with, I don't know, that could just be like a me thing, but it helps with making it look like cleaner and just like a little bit more put together. It allowed me to like, even my cupboards have stayed cleaner. It just seems less noisy, and I love that. And just putting that in, or even just like underneath the sink, which is like an average place where like obviously there'll be like water sometimes, even if shit's sealed off, or you're putting things underneath there. And I lined all those ones with white originally, but it was like the white, almost like a rubbery one, so it makes it way easier to clean it. It just makes such a huge difference, especially when you have like dark cabinets. And They're those weird cabinets that like continue all the way to the back and you've got to like stretch your arm down there to get stuff sometimes. It just makes it easier to see. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like contact paper, sticky wallpaper, stuff like that, you can make such a huge difference.
Well, and like it's so easily accessible now.
Yeah.
It's like the wall stick. You grew up putting wall stickers on. No, it's like contact paper.
Yeah.
But I like those little things that be like, oh, I need a little bit of change, I'll do this.
Yeah.
It's more like readily available.
And you don't have to pay out the ass for anything anymore. Like, you can go to other places to get stuff, but like you can go to places as easy as my husband had this god-awful hutch. Hi, honey, if you're listening. And he had this hutch forever. And what drove me nuts about it is, yeah, it had glass on it. Obviously, I wasn't going to like paint the glass or frost the glass or whatever. But I was like, it was never organized in there. And that was like his zone. So I went to HomeSense and it was like in the clearance section. I found this like white and it just had like black handwriting on it. It was like a whole script thing. I read it after. It was actually the Bible. I had no idea. I was sitting there and I was at it because of the way that the script was. It was like almost not legible, like a great grandpa's handwriting. Like you're like, oh. So I stuck it all over the window so I didn't see it, but just on the inside. And I just did a couple pieces of tape and it made such a huge difference. It was just, again, less noise to look at. Yeah, I could have asked him to deal with it, but it was organized in his very special way. So,
but like I love doing like those little projects or like switching out random things that I use on a regular basis, but I just haven't wanted to change out. Yeah, like I'll change out like my phone case more. Yeah, something colorful. Or like I'll just be like, oh, well, I could just build that. Like, oh, this is really bugging me. Like, usually, I think it was last year, Sarah and I like switched around the living room. And before that. We've had this like...
That was at Christmas because we had put the tree up.
I know, but I was trying to remember. The first part was... like our dad built Sarah a closet, which she's talked about before. And so there's been this traveling shelf. And I've had this shelf for a really long time.
Because it's so well made.
It was really good. So then I had it as like a reading bench in my room. And then it got too thin and my butt got too big. So then I was using it and I made like one of those catch-all bins for the front room. And then it's now transferred into like something else too. But like I have literally manipulated these 4 pieces of wood.
Yeah.
8 times. And so I have it there and I'm like, oh, that's great. I didn't have to buy anything. I literally just like screwed off half of it. Like I understand not everybody has like tools readily available, but if you're like building a project from new, you can go to Home Depot and they have this fancy machine, and as long as you have the measurements, I think the first like 5 cuts are free and then it's like $1 each.
It's super cheap and they'll cut things like is it called arborite? It's like the almost like counter where it's like a particle board that's covered in like it's covered in like plastic, like really hard plastic on the inside.
I just call it particle board.
Oh, okay. I used to just call it counter stuff or like
IKEA for
like very like the basic stuff that you see when you like buy something. Like you can get anything from there cut and they're absolutely fabulous and great. Like I love Home Depot.
Also, look at the like offcut bins because they're free.
There's so many folks because they get stuff cut for like what they want to use it for. And then we like, oh, do you want the extra pieces? And they're like, no, like I'm doing this one project, like whatever. Could be space, could be everything. I literally have 2 pieces that are perfect sizes for shelves. And our mom went over to go look at something and I was like, I'm grabbing these. Like they match the same one that I have. All I have to basically do is to seal off the edge so you don't see it. Is you get this stuff and you just iron it on with an iron. And it has a little cutter that's like super cheap and it's really easy to do. I thought it was super hard. My husband showed me how to do it when he was building shelves because I never did it. I just painted the inch and was like, fuck it, that's way easier. And it's super easy to do. It seals it all off and it makes it look like a shelf that you would buy for like $25. I went and bought some 60-pound brackets and not that I'm going to put 60 pounds on a shelf, but you know, I'd rather be like making sure because you got to account for the weight of the shelf as well as any items. And I'm not putting my child on there, but better be safe than sorry. But now I have 2 shelves. I got the shelf material for free. The brackets were super cheap. Like I spent less than $5 on the brackets. And then I conveniently already had the seal off stuff, but that stuff's really inexpensive too. It's like $5-6. And all you need is an iron and the footer thing, and you're good to go.
Also, I find that like a lot of people will be like, oh, I'm looking for something very specific.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously there's exceptions to the rule, but if you look at it and you break it down into shapes,
Yeah.
you can probably figure out how to build it.
100%.
And like, I'm like, oh, well, I'll just rather build it than at least I know what's going into it.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, I'll do that more in the summer and like just being outside more, pool stuff.
Yeah.
All of those types of things. But I always find it really funny because like, obviously now that it's getting warm, a couple of people I work with recently moved and they're like, oh, I don't, I want to do this, but like, I don't have this tool. And I'm like, oh, just let me know, like, and I'll bring it to work and you can borrow it.
Yeah.
And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah, like, it's not like I'm using all of them at once all the time.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay, so I'm like, and I have like it was like a sanding pad. And I was like, I have the sanding pads, like, just give me a ring and I'll bring them to work. And they're like, oh, okay. And I'm like, yeah, because I'd rather you borrow my sander and save like $300.
Well, this is one thing that people need to remember is you can actually rent stuff from Home Depot. You can rent. By the way, we're not sponsored by Home Depot. We're just huge fans. You can.
Would like to sponsor
If they would like to sponsor us.
Hi.
Okay. You can get anything on the budget that you have. So, an example is
within reason.
Within reason. They have. Don't laugh too hard when I say this. They have Stanley tools at Home Depot. Those are built for like DIYers and crafters. Like that's like a certain level. You can literally go and grab stuff anywhere from it's like $6 to like $10, and you can get every single thing that you need. Every single thing you need. A little screwdriver that holds all the bits, and it has like the. Oh my god, why am I blanking? You know, like when you can like crank it, but it like does it for you. You can get tons of stuff like that. You can get bits. You can get all those things. They're really good quality. Again, they're good for like you're building like little bits of furniture kits that you're putting together. You're doing a little DIY project. You're doing crafts. And it's pretty low cost. And once you have them, get a bag. Once you have them, then you can continue to use them. And you can teach yourself to use a lot of things, even if you didn't grow up doing any of this stuff.
Yeah. And like, if you're not wanting to build things, obviously you can do like a little thing, like look at what you have first.
Yeah.
And then, because like I was sitting there, I was like, oh, I really want to buy more tote bags. And then I was like, I have a ridiculous amount of drop cloth for one human.
My wedding.
No, I kept buying it. I was like, oh, rather shit too.
You know what though? It is great. It's a very handy thing to have. It could be anything. It could be curtains. It can be bags. It can be tablecloths at a rustic wedding.
Literally used them for all of those things. I've used them for like a bunch of things, and every time I'm like, oh, and I've purchased it. Like sometimes you can buy it at the dollar store, and it's like if you go to Home Depot, it's like $17 for like the medium sized one, and it's like it's huge. You could probably make like 10 tote bags.
Oh yeah, probably.
And I'm like, oh, I'd rather do that. And it's just finding like more of those types of things to do. We have garden stones that we're gonna paint this year because it's not like burning hot and smoking.
Yeah. At this time.
Well, and your kid's always like, Auntie, like, when can I paint? And she always has like, so we'll pick her up for school sometimes. She'll always ask like 5 minutes before your husband comes, and I'm like, honey, I would love to paint with you, but it is currently like 4:45, and your dad's gonna be here in 5 minutes.
Exactly.
And and so like having those types of things, or like doing like tie-dye, or I think that they're like, oh, well, this isn't gonna be a useful thing for a long time, what's the point? And I'm like, if your kid looks at me and she's like, well, I really want to do like art for my room, okay, honey, let's pull out paint.
Yeah,
we'll do that. And like, if you have it available, because obviously we have a craft room, then I'm like, I don't care. Like, it was $1.25, $1.50. Like, do whatever you want if it makes you happy. Please take it home. But like,
yeah. But you like, and honestly, I think a lot of people default to being like, okay, well, if I'm going to get that tote bag fabric, I have to go to Fabricland. So no shade to Fabricland. They have tons of resources and stuff. Like their buttons are super cheap. Walmart has a craft section. But also, like Eve said, like you can pick up drop cloths and you can pick up canvas ones, sometimes even at the Dollarama. Like you can get tons of craft stuff at the Dollar Tree, and sometimes you just have to like sit
can you just rinse the bag? Yep. I think there's stuff in that.
They're bagged. You can sit and put any of these things together at any level of budget. And you can use resources that you have for other things that you don't realize that you could use them for. Or like what you said, a big thing for me is if I'm going to redo, I'm like, oh, I need to rejig this room or whatever. I'm going to take stuff out or put stuff in. I'll figure out what I need. And then I'll literally walk around my house and be like, okay, like, is this being utilized properly? Could this be utilized in a different space better? Does this just need a coat of paint to go somewhere else? Like, honestly, if I was to redo my daughter's room instead of her having the side table that she has now, and I have a different option, my default is I go to thrift stores and garage sales or the Restore. Big fan of the Restore, which is Habitat for Humanity store. You can go there, you can paint stuff, you get them for a good price. I understand that some thrift stores are like ridiculous depending on where you are. Facebook Marketplace is another good place to get something. Like, you don't have to buy stuff brand new if you don't want to. And getting paint and stuff like that, like, you can get the stuff at Home Depot. But if you're doing like a kid's craft project, like, you don't have to go to Michael's to get acrylic paint. You can get acrylic paint at the Dollar Tree. And you can get it at the Dollarama. And to be totally honest, it's a lot of the brands that are at Michael's.
And, like, Michael's obviously has different things that you can get, but
tons of different stuff. Always download the app and use the coupons, though.
Yeah. And I think it's just looking at things and, like, I know people are doing, like, girls' nights if you're not a mom, or you know our mom do that.
Oh, yeah.
But they're just looking at those different things going, oh, like, I want to do this. I want to be more creative with, like, gifts. I want to do this. Like, if you are wanting to do stuff for Christmas, start now. Like, if you have to do crafting stuff, I understand you have to store it then, but get it done now. Then it's like, oh, okay, like, I have time with my kid, instead of it's like last minute, it's like, oh, I want to make something for, like, her dad. Yeah. And it's like December 24th. And you're like, honey, I need your hands.
Which our poor mom has, like, dealt with me being like, this is what I want to be for Halloween. And it's like 2 days to a day before or whatever. And she would stay up all night and make me, like, an amazing costume, which I love you so much, Mom. Thank you so much for doing that. Also, how neurotic I was with the coloring of things. That is not the right purple for Ariel's seashells, Mom.
But even like we own a Cricut, and obviously some of these supplies are more expensive, but Charlie looks at me and she's like, I want a shirt. I want a tie-dye shirt. I want to put this on it. Okay, cool, honey. Let's whip it out. And, like, in the grand scheme of things, like, I know that the economy and all of that jazz, and people are like, it's hard to afford that. But if you start to build that, like, little bit of collection throughout the year,
yeah,
then it's like, oh, you want to do this? Perfect. You want to do this? Perfect. Like, it's finding the different routines and things. And obviously during the summer, if your kids are home and stuff,
yeah,
start talking to them about what they want for, like, what they, like, start to notice what they're wanting to do more. And then even during, like, the school year, if they're way more into, like, certain foods and stuff, or, like, they're more open to things delivered a certain way, then you can, like, kind of take notes on that and be like, oh, okay, well, on Fridays, we're going to do this. On Fridays, we do something like that. Like, we try to make it fun instead of, like, oh, okay, we're going to do everything in the summer. We're waiting until the time period's off. Oh, well, we can't do Christmas. We can't make Christmas ornaments because it's the summer. I don't give a fuck. If I want to make Christmas ornaments, then I'll make it, and then I'll put them away. So that it's not like, okay, you have 5 days in between you're off school and then it's Christmas. Go.
But then also, like, they make those crafts and then you put them away again. You're like, oh, I kind of wish I could have enjoyed that a bit longer. But yeah, like, just taking that time to, like, sit. And I understand, like, the world's moving fast. And like Eve said, the economy's a little, like, bananas. But you can take that time to do those things. And if you need help, you might have a community that can help you. You might have that person who would be happy to help you do that stuff, or has that thing. Like, we have, I have a really great set of moms at Charlie's school, and they'll post things like, hey, I'm about to drop off this bike. If no one wants it, does anybody need this? Oh, yeah, sure. I'll totally take this off you. Might be free. They might be offering it for a certain amount of money. Like, it's building that community around yourself if you can, and just finding different ways to do things. Like, my friend Carla's house is so cool, and tons of the stuff she got on Facebook Marketplace. especially when it comes to like furniture. The amount of furniture that people offload for moving or for other reasons. And you can she got like a Lazy Boy couch for like a quarter of the price of what a Lazy Boy couch costs.
Also,
and it's beautiful.
Clean things.
You can. That's a huge thing is you can clean things, like renting one of those steam cleaners for like, I think it's like $50 or something. If Jen's listening, she'll correct me in the comments. But you can rent those, and they have like the side cleaner attached if you don't want to have one or store one, or you have the same luck as me where they end up fucking breaking. But you could like clean your carpets, clean your couch, clean whatever object. You don't just have to do one thing. Like there's tons of stuff that you can do with that. Or it's like me, right before I had that inspection, I was like, man, I kind of want to wipe my walls down, but I always get this very specific mop from the Dollarama, and it's like this hard foam mop, and our dad showed me this mop, and it's almost works like a magic eraser, and it's great for cleaning the walls. And I was like, oh, it's just kind of hands down. Like, they don't look at stuff like that, but I mean, I try to be like as respectful as possible. I'm renting this home for them to show them that I do care. And sometimes you just don't see that stuff until that time. I knocked on the door, and one of my best friends was next door, and I was just like, hey, can I borrow your mop? She's like, oh, yeah, it works great. She has that fancy one where it has the, like, drains the dirty water, and it's got the clean palette. And I use that, and then I pass it back over because I don't use a mop like that all the time. I have a steam mop, and it's my favorite thing in the whole world, but it's corded. So using that on a wall is just, like, awkward, and it was just handing it off. Like, you don't have to own all the things that you think that you need. You might be able to borrow it, get it secondhand. Like, there's so many different options for things like that. And, like, renting things is an option, especially if you don't think that you're going to keep it. Like, you can rent tools, like I said. You can do all those things if you need to get something really specific. And if you're not, if you can't read instructions, or they like frustrate you, there are so many videos on TikTok, on YouTube. Like, we have so many different resources. Like, you can do the thing no matter what way that you know how to learn and do the thing.
Also, like, try new things. We're over an hour.
I mean, there was that part where I like ran around and was talking to Ben. That's why I was trying to factor it in.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much for listening. Please let us know what your summer plans will be below. There's a current debate going on, and if you should just enroll your kid in a bunch of summer camps, or do you put your kid in care, or kind of what you do back and forth, or any additional things that you like to do in the summertime, especially if you're in your 20s. Give Eve a little bit of inspiration for things.
I got my Pinterest.
Always.
Please make sure to follow, comment, like, and rate. We're on all major podcasting platforms and all major social media platforms.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to chat with us, you can DM us on any of them. We do look at all of them.
Yeah.
And we do like to respond. Or you can actually email us at burntoutperfectionist at gmail.com. And always stay worked and twisted as ever. Peace.